Hey everyone, and welcome back to another explainer. Today, we are untangling a massive, incredibly multi-layered story that recently just shook the tech world to its absolute core. We're going to look at the exact moment the United States government stepped in and completely shut down the world's most powerful AI. And as we're about to see, the story behind this 19-day shutdown is just packed with wild corporate maneuvering, totally conflicting narratives, and quite frankly, a staggering reality check about global cybersecurity. You know what's so bizarre about this entire situation? It's the tragic irony of how it all started. The most capable artificial intelligence on the planet wasn't brought down by some highly sophisticated, state-sponsored cyber attack. No way. It was literally killed by a simple three-word prompt. And the real twist here? The CEO of the company that built the AI had basically just begged the government for the exact same off switch that they ended up using against him. All right, let's just dive right into this timeline because the speed at which this unravels is honestly breathtaking. On June 9th, Anthropic shipped its most advanced models ever, Claude Fable 5 and Mythos 5. The very next day, June 10th, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei publishes this essay calling for strict government regulation. And then, less than 48 hours later, on Friday evening, June 12th, the government sends a letter suspending these models for every foreign national on Earth. And since Anthropic couldn't verify nationality in real time, boom, they had to pull the plug entirely, worldwide. Now, what's truly ironic is reading Amodei's own words from that June 10th essay. He wrote, and I quote, "The government should have legal authority to block or reverse its deployment." He essentially built a massive regulatory fence around a field he was already standing in. He asks for this lever of control on Wednesday, and by Friday evening, that exact lever had landed squarely on his own neck, switching off his models that were already live in banks, hospitals, and software workflows all over the place. So what actually caused this sudden, frantic national security emergency? Well, it was three little words: fix this code. That's right, the so-called world historic jailbreak was literally just a prompt that a junior developer probably types into an AI 40 times a day before they even go on their lunch break. Let's break down exactly how researchers at Amazon triggered this. The workflow is incredibly straightforward. First, they fed the model open source code that already contained known vulnerabilities, plus a little bit of booby-trapped code. Second, they literally just asked the model to fix this code. Third, to fix it, the AI obviously had to identify the bugs first, right? And then with some human guidance, it helped generate proof of concept test scripts. Well, the government saw this as a massive security threat, basically fearing that bad actors could use it to generate attacks. But the thing is, security experts completely disagreed with the government's panic. Take Katie Malsouris, for example. She built Microsoft's bug bounty program and actually advises the Commerce Department. She reviewed the private report, and her verdict? It's not a jailbreak. She points out that finding, fixing, and testing bugs is literally the defensive workflow. It is the most valuable thing you can do with these AI models. You cannot patch this behavior out without making the model absolutely terrible at defense. So to the cybersecurity community, taking the model offline wasn't a defensive strategy at all. They saw it as a massive own goal. But the plot thickens when we look at who actually pulled the fire alarm. It was Amazon, and it reveals this incredible web of conflicts. See, Amazon is a massive investor in Anthropic. They're also their landlord, hosting Anthropic's compute on AWS. But they're also a direct competitor via their own Nova models. Instead of taking this bug report back to Anthropic, Amazon CEO Andy Jassy reportedly took it straight to the Treasury Secretary. I mean, think about that. One phone call from an investor, landlord, and competitor, and Anthropic's product goes totally dark globally. That is a terrifying new kind of corporate leverage. Okay, so the models are down. But why? Well, depending on who you ask, you get a completely different story. The White House AI advisor David Sachs claimed that the administration asked Amodei to fix the issue, but, quote, Dario refused. Anthropic, on the other hand, vehemently denies this. Their stance is that they complied immediately, they were never shown any details of the supposed exploit, and they never refused anything. These official narratives are just entirely contradictory, and even a month later, nobody has actually reconciled them. Now, Sachs specifically went out of his way to say this shutdown had absolutely nothing to do with Anthropic's ongoing lawsuit against the Pentagon. But the sequence of events tells a highly suspicious story. The Department of Defense had demanded access to Claude for all lawful purposes. Anthropic refused, fearing it meant lethal weapons or mass surveillance. In March, the Pentagon labels them a supply chain risk. Anthropic then sues the government for First Amendment retaliation. And then 3 months later, their best model is suddenly switched off. Whether it's connected or not, this timeline has definitely led a lot of observers to question the true motive behind this shutdown. By mid-June, the government had somehow managed to produce 3 totally different, conflicting explanations for the exact same shutdown. Was it a dangerous jailbreak? Was it a refusal to cooperate? Or, as another report suggested, was it out of concern over Chinese access? None of these stories agreed with each other, which just created this giant cloud of confusion over why the off switch was actually pulled in the first place. But while the government was scrambling to get its narrative straight, security researchers argued that the actual national emergency was being completely ignored. Anthropic's models weren't shut down because they found nothing. They were shut down because they found way too much. The real crisis isn't the AI at all. It's our own patching bottleneck. Just get a load of this number, 6,202. That is the staggering number of high and critical severity vulnerabilities that Anthropic's Project Glasswing found in foundational open source software. We are talking about flaws that have been sitting there, some of them for nearly 30 years, in the software that literally runs our modern world. The AI exposed them at lightning speed. And here is the absolute punch in the gut. 97. Out of those 6,202 critical vulnerabilities discovered, only 97 had been confirmed fixed as of late May. The human patching ecosystem is just completely overloaded. We simply cannot patch fast enough to keep up with what the AI is finding. And this brilliantly illustrates the core argument from former Facebook CSO Alex Stamets. He organized an open letter signed by over 100 top security experts protesting the ban. Their main point? Yes, the Mythos models are great at finding flaws, but that capability isn't unique to Anthropic. GPT 5.5 does it, Gemini does it, even the Chinese open-weight model Kimi 2.7 does it. So banning Claude didn't stop foreign attackers from finding vulnerabilities using other tools. It literally just removed the fastest, best tool from the defenders who are desperately trying to fix them. Eventually, the whole standoff ended quietly and pretty quickly. On June 26th, the model was restored for U.S. organizations. By June 30th, export controls were lifted, and on July 1st, Fable 5 returned globally. The supposed unfixable threat? Well, it was resolved in under 3 weeks with a simple classifier that blocked the specific Amazon prompting technique. It pretty much proves the government wasn't trying to permanently seize the frontier of AI, they just wanted to show that they could hit the brakes. But the aftermath of those 19 days sets a deeply, deeply chilling precedent. Anthropic lost almost 3 weeks of deployment and had to issue mass refunds to their users. Meanwhile, competitors like China's Alibaba kept right on shipping advanced models. You even had European governments starting to openly question if they could rely on American AI infrastructure if the White House could just pull the plug on a Friday evening. Ultimately, critics argue the government proved the off-switch works perfectly. It requires no published evidence, no hearings, and carries absolutely zero consequences, even if the initial threat assessment was completely flawed. So the crucial point we are left with isn't whether the lever will be pulled again, it's this. Next time the off-switch is pulled, will anyone actually know if the reason was real? We have just witnessed a test run of unchecked regulatory power over the future of human technology. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those tough questions, and I'll catch you in the next one.